Welcome back for the 77th time to the Hennessey Podcast. We're back again. We're back for good, maybe. So basically...
Depending on how today goes.
Yeah, depending on how today goes. But let me just give you some backstory. To my understanding, this is still factually true. Maybe the numbers are off a little bit. But to be in the top 1% of podcasts, you have to make it to episode 27. It's been like several years, and we still have not made it to episode 27.
So our big break's coming.
It's coming.
It just depends on when.
So we're almost there, but we're back, and we have committed and dedicated and created some new systems to make sure that we're going to do this consistently. So there's only 3 people listening right now, like in general. So if you're one of the 3...
I was going to say, we need each one of you.
Yeah, we need all you guys. So if you're one of the 3 guys out there that's listening to this podcast, we're back again, asterisk, for the 3rd time, and we're going to be consistent now. So just wait and see, and don't take my word for it, because so far it's untrue, because I've said these same words over and over.
Way to instill confidence.
Yes, thank you. But without further ado, welcome back again to the Hennessey Podcast. My name is Alex, your self-proclaimed host, and I'm here with Adam.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Adam.
Hey.
We've got a nice little agenda here, and we're going to talk some cars, and we're going to do this consistently. So if you want to hear some car stuff, make sure you listen to the Hennessey Podcast. So today we are talking about some cars, and let's get specific here. The C8 ZR1.
Mm-hmm.
The C8 ZR1 is getting some pretty ridiculous media going on. They went fast in a straight line. They went fast around a lot of tracks.
It's going to be a pretty serious car.
Yeah.
Not just the buzz around it, though.
Correct. And I think my question with the car would be, it starts getting into the territory. I mean, it's technically faster than a 765 LT. And right now I'm on a nasty McLaren kick in a good way. Like, I really am hot on some McLarens, specifically 675, 765, or 720 Spiders. And I think the crazy thing is, if you can get a ZR1 for sticker, I would personally take the Spider, because I think hardtop convertibles are pretty cool. It's like the best of both worlds.
They did do a good job on that with the C8 platform, I think.
Yes, I would agree, because it's like, it looks the same as the coupe, but you get the benefit. There's no downside like a soft top.
Which you can say about very few vehicles.
Correct.
So I think,
I personally, I don't love soft tops. I would actually say I really don't like them.
Yeah.
But hard top convertibles, I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a ZR1 for sticker. It's like $250, the one you want, whatever. I get there's the over sticker conversation, but let's just talk theoretically. You get it for $250, dude. That's
a lot of car.
Wow.
For $250.
Yeah. Like, you're talking 765 performance numbers. 765 is like hypercar performance for supercar-ish money. Like, right now they're like mid 500s. At one point they were like 650, whatever. So are we saying that ZR1 is hypercar performance? Because it's 1,000 horsepower. A Veyron was 1,000 horsepower.
I don't think that there's a good argument against that statement.
Yeah.
For the money, for the performance and everything that you get. And I think you in particular are uniquely qualified to answer some of the questions about it because of how much time you have spent in C7s, be it Grand Sport and Z06s over the years, but your own car, on track, on road. And you've also been to the Ron Fells driving school, whatnot. You spent a lot of time in C8s. The evolution of the Corvette and kind of where we've ended up with this ZR1. I don't know. Have you driven a lot of the C7 ZR1 much, or?
Yeah, some good seat time in it. I mean, it's amazing. It's a C7 just turned up and awesome, and it eliminated all the heating issues of the Z06.
That was a big issue.
But, the manual's great. The automatic was terrible. The 8-speed was never good.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
That to say, you've spent track time in both platforms and stuff. Do you think that the C8 ZR1 is going to have kind of what it takes to really take over kind of everyone's track day favorite? Because, right now Porsche is the king of all of it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be in those conversations of, for the person who wants to go to the track but have a great street car, is it capable of checking those boxes kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a tremendous value. So you go to COTA for the weekend high-performance driving events, and there's tons of Porsches. They're definitely like the track guy, weekend guy, category king. But as I've been, there's a lot of C8s.
Yeah.
The base car, it's such a good value, and honestly, it's a decent track car for the base, but the base car just looks so wimpy nowadays because you have the Z06 wide body and now the ZR1.
Which is what happened with the C7 platform
Correct,
as well.
Yeah,
So.
for every platform of the Vet. The base car always ends up looking so wimpy afterwards. So I personally I couldn't ever touch a base car. But when you get into the Z06, you have the amazing engine that genuinely sounds supercar, exotic, Ferrari 458-esque. And they literally benchmarked the 458. So it's really cool. I've spent some COTA time with the Z06 in John's car when he had it. It was awesome. And it was really impressive. So the ZR1 is going to be all of that times more. Lots of horsepower.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The ZR1 is $250,000 plus over sticker, and even if you can get it. So I don't know if it's like the budget track day car, but the Z06 I think certainly is, and I think Z06 prices have gone down a lot.
They have, yeah.
You can get a Z06 for like 120, 100, like
and they're attainable now.
Very.
So in terms of availability, you can go to a dealership and not have to be on a wait list for a year to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be a dime a dozen, for sure. They kind of already are. The base cars definitely are.
I'm curious to see where the price point or where the markups do end up on the ZR1, because I know so many of the people that went the Stingray route in the beginning and paid what they had to pay to get it. They've had the car for a few years now. They're ready to trade up into the Z06 and stuff, or now that the ZR1's coming, who wouldn't want to wait for that car? But they're getting so burned on their trade-in value because they paid,
they're getting wrecked.
Yeah, insane amounts. And so I wonder if that is going to scare off potential buyers for buying the ZR1, at the potential absurd markups that they're going to have. So I'm curious to kind of see where the market ends up on them.
If I'm looking at C7 ZR1s, I'm going to bet that there's going to be like a $50,000 over premium over the base price.
You think that's
C8.
it?
Oh, you think more?
I think a lot more, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried.
I've heard of a dealership that has an allocation for one and is already promoting it at about $150,000 over.
That's so gross.
So,
I hate that.
But I mean, how much is what's a GT3?
A new 992 GT3 is like $350. They're a lot of money actually, but I guess not as much as $250 plus $150. But yeah. Anyways, we've got some.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Just want to talk about a quick Hennessey Performance update. We've got some really hot builds right now. As you know, we modified the Velociraptor R into the Velociraptor 1000. You heard that correctly. That's 1,000 horsepower in a Ford Raptor truck. Pretty unbelievable. It is factually, I will argue and debate anybody on this. It is factually the best truck that money can buy in terms of a street truck that, isn't some race trophy truck that is daily drivable and, has a factory interior and airbags and all that. Like, it is unreal.
I don't disagree that it is an unreal truck.
Don't say but.
But there's another truck in the conversation, And I know that you're not a big T-Rex fan. There's no denying that the T-Rex is an amazing truck.
Yes, correct. I agree.
I like it better than the Raptor.
And see, that's where I would say you're wrong. But the good news is the T-Rex probably is coming back with the Hellcat turned up to some extra horsepower number because finally they realized, like, what are we doing with this EV stuff?
Yeah.
And so they're coming back. And the great news is you can modify both of those with us up to 1,000 horsepower. So Wow, yeah, that's nice.
I would say to a buyer, buy the Mammoth 1000 and a Velociraptor 1000. Have them both.
Yeah.
And that way you get best of all worlds.
Yeah, that's probably the best solution. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
just
I
get 'em
guess we'll build you both, so that's fine.
Yeah, we'll make something work for you.
We'll accept. So, speaking of ZR1 track times, they set a bunch of records. They set specifically 5 records. Can we actually pull that up? C8 ZR1 track records. And while you're doing that, we're going to talk about the Mustang GTD Nürburgring lap time. So the Mustang GTD is basically, it's a Mustang GT3 RS that they put a transaxle in and a Predator motor that's like turned up. And at first I was like, man, that's kind of like really? Like they're going to do that? Like early on when they first announced it. And then as I've seen it like be moving around, I was like, dang, this is sick.
I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
You know?
Super glad they did it. The production is a little higher than I would have thought. It's like over 3,000 units apparently.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a lot of money. Like it's kind of a lot of money.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to have issues sharing the Mustang name, because you can also get a base model Mustang for not very much.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's certainly cool.
Yeah.
It seems like an incredibly impressive car. Lot of performance, a lot of records, a lot of amazing stuff to come with that. But for the price point, is it worth it over something like the ZR1?
Yeah. Well, the main question is, would you buy it over a GT3 RS? Because it's a track weapon.
Yeah.
Made
yeah,
for
very
track
purpose-built.
weapon. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not buying this thing to just go down
Just
the
like
street
GT3
with.
RS. They're stiff. You don't want to really drive them on the street. So that's the main question. What do you take?
Yeah. I'm taking the GT3 RS, just personally. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe my opinion would change once the GTDs have been out for a little bit more and you can see more about them.
Honestly, I'm taking the Mustang because when I show up to COTA for the track day, dude, how many GTDs are we really going to see? Honestly, GT3 RSs are a dime a dozen. Yeah. A dime a dozen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the unique factor of it would be an alluring factor to it. Of not everybody's going to have them when you're getting to the track. Yeah,
so I think that's cool. I'm on the Mustang conversation. I'm very curious to see where the S650 goes from the GT and the Dark Horse. So you've got GT Dark Horse at the bottom. You have GTD at the top. So where are they going to fall in the middle? From what I understand, the Shelby name is kind of out of the direct OEM Ford conversation. You saw Shelby American out of Vegas do their own GT350, not from Ford directly. So, what does that mean? What names are they bringing back? The Bullet, the Mach 1, the Boss. They have some options with names.
Yeah, they've always had something in there.
And they're definitely going to keep using the 5.2-liter supercharged. That's still very much in the conversation. So I'm wondering, are they going to have like a middle GT350 and then a top GT500? Are they just going to have a top GT500? Because they got to compete with the ZR1. Have to.
Yeah, they have to have their hat in the ring there. I mean, I think that they're smart enough to know that. I think that they're going to have to come out with something.
I'm guessing it's just a refreshed GT500, a little bit more horsepower, keeping the dual clutch, which is amazing.
I was going to say, I'm not mad at any of those things.
So good. Yeah. Cool. Jumping back to the ZR1 really quick. They set 5 lap records, which is just really nice. I watched some of the lap videos on these, and it's really impressive. And it's crazy that this is again, theoretically a $250,000 car competing and beating records from the previous record holders were some serious cars. Road America, Road Atlanta, VRR, both the VRR, what do you call that? Configurations, thank you. Watkins Glen, really cool tracks. I think the GM team did an incredible job setting that up and doing the marketing for it. So we've talked about Ford, we've talked about GM, and then we kind of touched on Dodge and Stellantis. So let's talk about a little bit more in depth with the TRX and the HEMI coming back. So let's just be straight up real. They have had, let's just be real, right? They've had some strong missteps in the past several years.
Yeah.
After a long run of amazing steps, right? Like let's go back to the original or the re-kickoff of the Charger and the Challenger, which was what, like 06?
I think
long time
somewhere
ago at
around
this
there.
point.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out, it's the V8, it's like total pony muscle car, it's super cool, and they just ride that out for almost 20 years.
I was gonna say a long time.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Then they had the 5.7, the 6.1, the 6.4, and the Hellcat supercharged. So then the Red Eye, like they wrung it out.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have just dreamed that they would have done the new body, the new version, the new generation, and just keep going with the Hellcat or some like adjusted version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, in the most misstep of missteps, the weirdest of all weird, the corporate of all corporate, they go EV. What does it even call? I mean, who knows? And I just didn't even care.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody. We love you guys, but wrong move. And now you're reeling it back, which is, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the positive.
Yeah.
They're reeling back the EV thing, saying that the V8's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I feel like a weight lifted off my shoulders, basically, because we were getting into some rocky territory with the whole Challenger, the EV kind of deal. I think Tesla has set such a strong baseline for what an EV car needs to perform like, and from a usability standpoint. And anything that is trying to meet that or exceed it just hasn't really happened yet. And so the only other thing that they have to fall back on is how cool can the car be? How cool can it look? How fast can it be? Things like that. And I just think that this Challenger deal didn't hit the mark. And so if that's the way that we were going to be going, it was going to be a little scary. So the fact that we're getting back into what's fast, loud, cool, exciting, fun, it, like I said, weight off the shoulders of, okay, we can keep going with some cool stuff here.
I would argue that, let's see, I think back in 2017, 18, 19, 20, I was thinking, you know what? We have had the golden age of cars, round two, right? Some people argue that the 60s was like the golden age, and then like we had some great stuff in the 90s. The 70s and 80s were like, what happened there? I don't know.
Yeah.
The 90s was pretty awesome. The 2000s was pretty cool. And then it really, like 2005, Ford GT, Carrera GT, Veyron in 2008 started this amazing journey up until, I would just say, 2020. And then everything started to get really weird for a few years. Mercedes is going away with the V8. Stellantis, like everybody's saying we're going EV, full EV, no more V8s. So dumb. They get slaughtered. Finally, we're waking back up, and we're staring down the barrel of C8 ZR1, 1,000 horsepower Corvette from the factory, 5.5 liter twin turbocharged V8, 1,064 horsepower, 828 foot-pounds of torque, 8,000 RPM, red line, and a dual clutch. 2.30 to 60 from the factory, 233 top speed. That's nuts, and I'm just reading that down. So I feel like we're restarting a golden age. Like literally, Mustang GTD, 815 horsepower, 5.2 liter supercharged V8. We got new lap records. We got big top speeds. We got Nürburgring records and lap times from American-made cars. The Dodge stuff is coming back with the V8.
Yeah, we've got really exciting
we're
stuff
restarting.
coming.
Dude. We're getting back to the good old American bald eagle, like get out of my way, golden age of cars.
Yeah, we walked into a kind of a dark era there for a second, and we're able to thankfully see far enough down to where we thought, maybe this isn't the best move, and kind of start transitioning back into this. And it seems like if you're going to come back to the whole, large displacement, big power kind of deal, you got to come back with a vengeance. And so, like the T-Rex and the rumors that we've heard from Red Eye and whatnot in the truck, and more power. The ZR1 coming out with a factory car over 1,000 horsepower is incredible. So awesome. They're coming back with a vengeance for sure.
So legit. Yeah, it's definitely the re-kickoff of the new. I would say this is 3.0 or 4.0 of the golden age. It could, yeah, I could argue either way, but 3 or 4.0, the next era of golden age of cars. You know, we're going to have a GT2 RS Porsche from the 992.2 generation, the Bugatti Tourbillon. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Incredible
that
stuff
is
coming
like
out.
coming out. We've got some stuff up our sleeves, so just wait and see. It's going to be legit. Some closing remarks here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, we're coming back with a vengeance. We're going to be consistent with this. Mark my words, or don't. You know, you'll have to wait and see. But we're back. And if you've stuck around this long, I want to give a couple plugs here. HennesseyAcademy.com is a place where you can go and learn a lot of stuff within the automotive space. You can connect with people all around the world in the automotive space that have interest and expertise in the automotive world. It's basically a social media platform and an educational video platform combined into one. There's a mobile app, there's a desktop version, there's TV apps for Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, all sorts of stuff. And I mean, you can change your life.
Yeah, there's no excuses for you not to do it now. Tuner school, you've always had to come down here. You've got to, participate in the class, turn the wrenches, do the stuff. But now, if that hasn't been an option for people before,
right?
No reason you can't now.
So you'll never replace in-person wrench turning tuner school, and tuner school is going to be open forever, and it's awesome. It's a 14-week long program. We have a 101 and a 201 course, like an intro and advanced. We teach you theory, mechanical, tuning, how it comes together on the track. You'll never replace that. But if you don't have the budget for tuner school, if you can't spend 14 weeks out near Houston in Sealy at our headquarters, if that just doesn't work for you, or you're in Europe or wherever in the world, check out HennesseyAcademy.com. We have an abbreviated version of the Tuner School 101 course. It's like 135 videos. It's like
a lot of content. Yeah.
Hours and gobs of content. And you can actually learn stuff and actually change your life. So check it out. HennesseyAcademy.com, tunerschool.com if you want the in-person, in-depth program. And there's other programs on HennesseyAcademy.com as well, engineering, design, side-by-sides, and more to come. Every month, we're adding new stuff. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. HennesseyPerformance.com if you want to modify your vehicle.
Give us a call.